Welcome to Jazz Piano Daily 114. Here is part 3 of how to create a blues bass line from scratch. All right, let's move over to the sheet music and let's just review what we've done up to this point. So here's the bass line up to this point. Okay, there we are. Let me play the new part for you now today. Whoops, sorry. So let's go through this new part. All right, so we're ending on the B flat here, and now we have to go down to D flat. Now another trick with bass lines is just use chord tones, all right? Root, third, fifth, third, down to the D flat. See how I'm just utilizing my chord tones here. Again, I don't have to do anything, groundbreaking here. Utilizing those chord tones works absolutely fine. Takes me down to the D flat, the third of the B flat. 7 resolves nicely, a half step down to the root of the D flat 7, so perfect. Now on the D flat, again, notice what I did. Root, 5, 7, right? So I'm kind of outlining that those chord tones. And I come up to the root again. Now why do I go up to the root? That's a half step right above the C, which leads me right down to the C. Real nice. So root, 5, 7, root, and now on the C minor, this trick right here is fantastic. When you're playing, when you're trying to come up with a bass line quick, utilize the root 5 root approach method. Right? The root 5 root approach method is this. I have a C minor 7 chord right here. Let me highlight it for you. Okay, so I have the C minor 7 chord. Now down here I'm going to my B flat 7, right? So I'm going to B flat 7. So this approach is not a half step, all right? Instead, here I'm playing just root 5, root 5, okay? But I like to call the methodology here the root 5 root approach because typically you'll be doing an approach as beat 4. You don't have to, and I didn't here. So I did root, then the 5th, then the root, then the 5th. And this also gives me an opportunity to bring my thumb up to lead me right back down to the B. Because otherwise, if I stay on my second finger, then I got to stretch down to that B. So instead, root, 5, root, 5th, down to the B. Okay? Now, if I wanted to do the root 5 root approach, I could do something like root 5 root approach, right? Because that C is the half step, but I don't like repeating that C. I could also do this. But fingering wise, that gets really kind of to be kind of a pain, right? 4 and coming up to the 5 like that, it just feels awkward and it's too much wrought with possibility of making a mistake in real time. So instead, root 5, which is totally fine. But let's say I was going to the note F, right? Root 5 root approach down to the F. Perfect, right? Works perfectly. So the root 5 root 5 or root 5 root approach method works really, really good. And you'll find that if you can kind of get down that idea of root, 5th, root, and an approach, or the 5th, then you could create bass lines super fast, right? So if I want to do Fly Me to the Moon, right? A minor to the, so A minor to D minor, right? Ba-da-ba-ba, so A minor to D minor to G7 to C. If I just do the root 5, perfect, right? What if I do the root 5 root approach? Root 5 root approach. Now, if you guys would like a bass line for Fly Me to the Moon, let me know, write it in the comments, and I'll put together a quick lesson on that showing you that root 5 root approach for Fly Me to the Moon. So just be sure to write it in the comments on my YouTube channel, all right? And I'll be happy to do that for you. All right, so anyway, on the C minor here, I'm going root 5, root 5th, and then I come down to B7, going to the root of the B7. So the whole bass line now is B flat, then to the D flat, C minor, 7. Okay? Fingering wise, thumb, middle, right? And then I would probably hit 4, and then I like scooting over to 5, middle, second, whichever one there, thumb. Get your thumb on the B for sure. Get your second finger on the D flat for sure. Get your thumb on the C. Right? So thumb, second, thumb. As long as you get that, everything else should work out fine. Make sure you get your thumb on that second G. Thumb, then the B7. All right, so let's do the bass line again. Here we go. Let's do the entire bass line from the beginning of the song. Here we go. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Oops, sorry. That's right, I went up here. Doing it from memory right now. Do it again for you. Here we go. All right, so you got the chords in the right hand. It's all written in the sheet music. You get the bass line now. I'll see you in part 4, and we will finish out this entire bass line. To get the first 45 pages of music for free, just go back to jazzpianodaily.com. If you liked the video, please be sure to click the like button and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. To watch the rest of the lessons in this series, just click on the playlist to the right of this arrow. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.